Hi, and welcome to the Firefly Adda, your virtual conversation starter, a platform where we showcase different thought leaders and bring out insights and learnings from their different walks of life. Today, we want to talk about the very important aspect of life, which is holistic fitness and wellness. So, talking about this, we want to touch upon two specific points or two specific elements within the holistic fitness and wellness regime, and that would be your physical fitness and nutrition. And to talk about it, we have a very well-renowned expert with us who would be, taking us through this discussion points. So please join me in welcoming Tulip Rodrigues, who will actually take us through these discussion points. Hi and welcome, Tulip, to the 505 Adda.
Hi, Kush. So happy to be here. It's an absolute pleasure to be on your show. And I'm looking forward to discussing a huge range of issues with you.
Great, fantastic, Tulip. So I think to get started, I think it's a very appropriate question to ask you. So you have always been
Mhm.
passionate about health and coaching and nutrition and fitness. So I
Right.
believe you've been doing this from quite some time. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been in this field for over 25 years now.
Wow.
Really long time. I absolutely love what I do. And it's an accident that actually got me into this job, because into this career stream. I have actually done my MA, that's a master's in education. And I was all set to be a teacher. I taught in a school for many years. But then at some stage, I saw my husband who was so into fitness, and he's the one who gave me the push and said, "Look, why don't you try this?" And I tried it, and I was hooked. I really just enjoyed that endorphin rush the fitness gave me, the feeling of sweating it out, the feeling of my sore muscles. And there was a big added benefit. I suffer from asthma. So I saw that my symptoms, my asthma symptoms, easy, the attacks that I would have or less in severity. So it was a win-win all sides, and I just went straight all into it then. So it was a big career shift, right from being a teacher to moving into fitness. And very soon from fitness, I realized that, fitness and what I eat, nutrition, go hand in hand. So it was back to the drawing board, some more studying to train myself to be a nutritionist and a health coach. And it absolutely took off from there. Everything just fell into place.
Wow. So I think there was a small little glitch when you actually brought out the point of you being, asthmatic.
Hmm.
So would you want to
Right,
maybe, touch upon that point again? Because I believe that's a very valid and a very important point to really make because, having that kind of
right,
physical condition and to still,
right,
overcome that and, be somebody who's an advocate of fitness, I think that's a great story to,
right,
bring out. So can you maybe touch that point again, if you don't
right.
mind?
Okay. So, see, today asthma is not a curse like it was in the earlier days, like it was considered to be, a death sentence, one way you can't breathe. Today, you have Olympians who are running, who are achieving their goals, who are breaking records while being asthmatic. The whole science of medicine, as far as asthma is concerned, has moved ahead so much. And today we have inhalers of different types, which help you to control it. So, yeah, I do take an inhaler, but once my asthma is under control, and this is all prescribed by my doctor, I have a proper plan in place. I can do anything. I mean, there's no reason, there's nothing stopping me.
Fantastic. So I think that also brings me to a point as to what your other trigger or your inspiration, is for you
Hmm.
to, be what you are. So you mentioned about your husband being a sports enthusiast himself. So would it be safe
Right.
enough to consider that your husband would be your inspiration for you to, be who you are today?
Yeah, a lot of it I would say is due to him, because he's the one who pushed me into this. He's the one who guided me along this road, and I would say, yeah, a lot of it's him. Because in school, in college as well, I was not a sports person. I was happy to sit back. I had asthma, so I sat back. I didn't take part in PT. I did not take part in any kind of activities because the concern was always that I would flare up with another attack. So yeah, he's the one who's pushed me into it. I think it's safe to say that absolutely.
Fantastic. I think that's a great story to bring out to the audiences. So I think that brings me to a very important point about nutrition. So I actually read a
Right.
lot about you, and I actually believe that you are a nutritionist as well. So most of us do
Yes.
understand what nutrition really is at a very superficial
Hmm.
level. And what I
Right.
believe personally is that nutrition is actually a very
Yeah.
vital cog in the wheel for holistic fitness,
Right.
right? So what are your thoughts
Right.
around that, and how does nutrition play a very essential part in our day-to-day life?
I think nutrition is it's that well-oiled cork that brings everything together. You need to eat right to make sure that your body remains fit and strong. And I want to bring out something very important here. I truly believe that nutrition is not just about posting fancy recipes. That is the domain of anybody. Putting up a nice picture and saying, okay, I try to balance it out by doing this or that. That's not nutrition. Nutrition is a science. Okay, it's got a whole evidence backed history behind it. When to eat, what to eat, how to combine your foods, which foods are good, which foods are bad. There's a whole science, and only a nutritionist, someone who studied it, would be able to put it forward before you as a whole package.
Okay. And do you actually have some sort of a template, that you've actually sort of
Mm-hmm.
created, which actually talks about, these different frameworks
Right.
of the different times of, when food to consume, what food to consume when. So do you actually have
Right.
some sort of a template that you actually create for, different audience types?
Well, I would beg to differ with you on this one. There is no such template. I think it's important to understand that nutrition, just like fitness, is something that's very individualized. Every person is different. We're all individuals. We're also different in our mental makeup, our physical makeup. So I firmly believe that nutrition has to be individualized to tailor the person. you know so there is no fit rule, there is no set template. It takes a nutritionist, it takes a coach who can really encourage and guide a person and push that person forward to achieve what they set out to do. So it's a very deep science, and I think nutrition, eating right, weight loss, all of these, um, there's no ready diet plan. I can ask you to go to Google and you'll get 120 diet plans of how to lose weight. So
Yeah.
I would say that's the easy part. A diet plan, 1200 calories, 1400 calories, 1600 calories, they're all available. But where a nutritionist and a health coach can make a difference is eating right, losing weight. These are all basically habits, which need to be changed, which need to evolve. So learning new behaviors, forgetting old patterns of behavior, this is where a health coach can guide you. This is where a person who is encouraging, who is supportive, can take you through the process. And I have to say that learning to eat right, learning to eat healthy, learning to lose weight, learning to gain weight, maybe, all of these are huge long term processes. It's like a marathon, nutrition, learning about nutrition, learning about eating right. It's a marathon. It's a 42K, okay, or
Mhm.
maybe even an ultra. It is never a dash. It is never a sprint. There are no shortcuts. There are no easy ways to go about this.
No, I can certainly relate to that because I myself, I'm a runner. So I did my
Uh-huh.
marathon just my first one, early this year. So I can totally relate to that. And
Okay.
nutrition, like you
Oh, wow.
mentioned, is really
Right.
essential and a very vital cog in the wheel for holistic fitness. And it actually
Absolutely.
varies from an individual to
Absolutely.
individual. Yeah. You're also
Absolutely.
seen
I
as a
totally
weight
agree.
loss expert.
Right.
So what are the best practices or any frameworks that you would actually sort of devise for such programs? So again, would it again depend from an individual to individual perspective, or how is it like?
Yes, absolutely. It would differ from an individual to an individual. Some people do really well, with a pattern of eating just 2 or 3 meals. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, and they'll find that they're losing weight. Others will need to eat every 2 hours to lose weight. So we're all very different. So, again, an individualistic pattern is what I would think is important. But at the same time, from a client's perspective, the first thing I tell them is, if you've come to me to lose weight, I can give you a diet plan. But the important thing is for you to be determined, committed, and disciplined. There's nothing like this. If you are determined and if you are disciplined, weight loss follows. It's just that, see, as I told you earlier, it's also about learning new behaviors, right? So
Hmm.
learning new behaviors is not something that's easy for any of us. It takes time. It's a process. So if you give it that time, and if you are disciplined and determined and committed and focused, yes, then it can happen. Those are the people whom we see, who come back with results. And when they see results, they're really excited, they're really happy, and they want to do more. And then that's how they, that's what it just takes them on that journey. That road to weight loss is like so beautifully planned out then. But having said that, yes, I think it's very important. I am an advocate of a balanced diet. So you eat everything, but you eat in a proper combination, a proper quantity, a proper proportion. Make sure that every plate of food that you eat has a good amount of protein, it has a good amount of healthy, wholesome, good carbs, and it's got lots of vegetables. So if you eat this way, if you build your plate up according to the my plate concept, with lots of veggies, a serving of protein, a serving of carbs, good wholesome carbs, you're sorted. You're already halfway on the road to success. So if you're able to do this, and this is an important tip, I would say, just eating this way is guaranteed to get you some weight loss.
Okay, and a very impromptu thought which actually came to my mind about intermittent fasting,
Right,
right? So that's actually a fad
right,
these days, and a lot of people actually talk about intermittent
right,
fasting. So what are your thoughts around
right.
that? So is it really beneficial? Is it really
Mm-hmm.
effective? And what exactly is
Right.
intermittent fasting in the first place? Maybe for the benefit of certain people who don't
Okay.
know what it is. Yeah.
Okay. So to put it very, very simply, an intermittent fasting program is one where you remain in a fasted state or remain in a state without any food for a certain period of time. And then for some certain number of hours, you allow yourself to be fed, okay, or you eat. All right. The premise behind this being that when you remain in a fasted state for a certain period of time, maybe 10 hours, maybe 12 hours, that's what you would start with. All right. Your glucose levels, your insulin levels remain stable. Okay. There is no dip or flip or rise. All right. They remain stable. And that slowly puts you in a fat burning state. Your body begins to use the fat that is already stored. All right. To kind of nourish itself. And you burn it off in that way. So very simply put, very, very simple explanation of what intermittent fasting is. Uh, would I recommend intermittent fasting? Fasting, again, it would depend from person to person. Some people do really well on it, and I've actually heard of people who don't do so well on it. So there are certain people who, from not having food for that long period of time in their tummy, and then suddenly eating a meal, their intestines react by clamping up. You know, so they'll come to you complaining suddenly of huge pain, cramps in the stomach. So obviously, intermittent fasting then is not for them. So very individualized. It really depends from person to person. You have to try. You have to try it with an expert, if at all. But again, coming back to my basic premise that a balanced diet, an eat right diet, where you eat everything in the right proportion, the right combination, uh, that's the one that will always work 100%. That's the one on which there are a million studies, which have been done, and it's proven to be the best diet that you can go forward with.
So, Tulip, that brings me to a question about, beauty and the tips which are actually sort of beauty, and how that is actually sort of interlinked to maybe your inner self, and how you sort of build your immunity, your nutrition, being holistically fit
Right,
at the same time. So I
right,
also believe you're the editor or a guest blogger at Be Beautiful, and
right.
you talk a lot about beauty tips as well. So any kind of tips that you would want me to provide to the audiences to have a radiant skin, and how much does it actually depend on nutrition and being fit as well?
Right. Well, yes, I have written for them earlier. I would say that the answer to a clear, glowing skin is water, water, water. The minute you're well hydrated, your skin plumps up and it glows. So that is the basic premise. Besides this, eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. Right now, I know things are a little tough. Everybody's not able to get their fair share of fruits and vegetables, maybe because of the situation that we are in. But if you eat the fruits, the seasonal ones that are more handy, more easily coming in rather than the kiwis and the apples, which are difficult to procure. So mango and watermelon being the fruits of the season, you'd be doing your skin a really good thing. In terms of vegetables, raw vegetables, again, the lettuce might be a concern right now because of contamination. But vegetables you can peel. So, for example, the cucumber or even the tomato or capsicum or onion, the basic ones that we have in the kitchen at all times. If these can simply be cut up into a salad, these are potent sources of vitamins and minerals which help the skin to glow. Besides this, exercise. So having an exercise program in place which allows your heart rate to go up, which allows for increased blood circulation in the body, really helps tons with the skin. And I would also recommend yoga. You don't have to do a headstand, of course, but even if you do a simple down dog, where you're in a mini inversion, that rush of blood to the head, to the upper extremities, that really helps with skin health. So these are the few tips that I think could be incorporated.
Fantastic. I think a few of them I'm going to actually follow as myself. So thank you so much for that. So so you also coach marathoners, is that
Right.
right? So we spoke, we actually touched the point on marathoners, and how nutrition is actually very very paramount for marathoners because of the endurance
Right.
sport that it is, and the kind of calorie burnout which actually takes place during a marathon. Now
Exactly.
it's
Yes.
it's actually a lockdown period, and everybody is sort of
Right.
put in their houses. So what are your recommendations towards runners and athletes in terms of nutrition? So any recommendations around that?
Right. Let me answer your question in two parts. The first part, where we spoke about coaching for marathoners being very, very different, nutrition coaching that is, as compared to the general population, because marathoners face a huge burn of energy. So they actually need to eat more to support their bodies. You need to make sure that you're eating wholesome carbs, not just any trash from the road, but really wholesome carbs. You need to make sure that you're getting first class sources of protein in, so that you're able to deal with the wear and tear that your body is facing. Really, really important for runners. And yeah, the second part of your question, where what can runners do right now? What can marathoners do right now, since they're all in lockdown mode? Um, well, there's not much. I think till now it's not really safe to run out. But keep your body moving would be my consistent advice here on this particular topic. Keep your body moving, do a basic mat Pilates class, or do maybe a yoga, or focus on strengthening your body. So basically, runners need to strengthen glutes, hamstrings, they need to strengthen, the core, they need to have a strong upper body engine. So if you can work at strengthening by way of body weight exercises, you need not have weights. So you could do the plank, or you could do a fire engine, various different exercises to target the core. And that would help right now at this point of time. Yes.
Great. Now, coming to the other end of the spectrum, of people who
Mm-hmm.
are maybe not really, that inclined towards fitness, and, maybe people
Right.
from different age groups. So they are also sort
Right.
of locked down. So what are your
Right.
recommendations to, these different, age group people? So maybe, the younger ones
Right.
all the way up until the elders. So is there some sort of a routine that you can
Right.
actually provide, which will actually keep them, on their toes?
Right. So see, for someone who's really young, or children, maybe up to 15 or 16, it has to be something that's really impromptu, something that's fun, something that's not so structured. So maybe a dance kind of a program for kids is much more appropriate. For someone who's 20 up, all the way up to maybe even 35 or 40, something that has more structure, or class that targets all the different aspects of fitness, ranging from cardiovascular fitness to strength training to core training to flexibility. So if all the different aspects of fitness are included, that would be a more appropriate program. Finally, for those, the older participant, who is unfit, who's maybe just looking at getting their bodies moving because they can't even go for their regular walks outside, I would suggest a very gentle form of yoga, maybe a hatha yoga, slow, really gentle, easy for them. Again, it depends. I have participants who are even over 60, who are quite gungo and quite energetic and fit to do a basic cardiovascular program. So it really depends on where your fitness levels are. According to that, you need to decide what you want to do. Of course, as always, a fitness program should be goal based. So you need to begin with the end in mind. Why am I working out during the lockdown? Am I working out because I want to maintain my level of fitness? Okay, so then I need a fitness program where I should be doing something similar to what I was doing earlier. Okay, why am I working out during the lockdown? Is it that I just want to keep my body moving? Well, then yes, maybe something that's slower, more gentle. That is what my workout goal would be. So you need to prioritize. You need to have an aim in mind. You need to have a goal in mind, and then you need to think backward and figure out where and what kind of a workout program you want to put in place.
Great. Now, in terms of nutrition, again, you need to build your immunity during this
Mm-hmm.
time. So, any sort of
Yeah,
tips and tricks around how you can
yeah,
actually build the immunity in terms of what we eat?
yeah. So vitamin C, it's the biggest immunity booster that we have. You don't need to get fancy. Everything from the humble chili, the mirchi that we have in our kitchen, to capsicum, to lemon. Mangoes have a decent amount of vitamin C and vitamin A. There's strong source of vitamin A as well. So you need to build in your vitamin C. You need to shore up and boost up your vitamin C levels in the body. That's the first thing. Secondly, and I cannot stress the importance of this, everybody needs to go out in the sun. You need to soak in the sunlight. And this is so much more important because in India, another 15 days, and then, we're going to have the rainy season, the monsoons coming in. We're going to have cloudy skies, and we're not going to get the sunlight, strong sunlight that we're getting right now coming in. So I would suggest that the little time that we have left, everybody needs to make sure that they get at least 20 minutes of the sun in. This will help to shore up their vitamin D, and the sun is basically just so good. There are evidences of the sun helping in different pandemics across the centuries, and I think that we need to explore this more often, explore this option rather more diligently. We need to all go out in the sun and spend some time in the sun. So we've got vitamin C, we've got the role of sunlight, eat healthy fats. So I'm talking about nuts and seeds. Of course, if you're on a weight loss program or for anyone in general, eating nuts and seeds does not mean that you can just grab huge big quantities and eat. Nuts and seeds are potent sources of oils, which we require, but in a certain proportion. So I would say go by, let's say, a tablespoon of nuts. It could be anything from almonds to walnuts to peanuts. Right now, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, they are very high in zinc. All right, and zinc is another micronutrient that's really required to build up your immunity. It does not only have to be nuts; it could be healthy fats coming in from, for example, your cold pressed oils or from a virgin coconut olive oil that you can use as a salad dressing. Um, Another tip is Prash. All right, so Prash is an age-old thing that's been used in India. It's made up of a lot of different micronutrients. The base is amla. So a good quality Prash, if you can get your hands on a teaspoonful of that every morning, and that'll help to shore up your immunity as well. Raw onion, raw garlic, okay, all things that you can add into your salads, on a regular basis every day. Um, these really help to shore up the immunity. Lastly, I would say avoid eating processed foods. Keep it to a minimum. I know that because of stress and because of mental tensions, many people are nowadays indulging in that little bit of extra ice cream or chocolate or desserts of different kinds. But keep it to a minimum. That would be my sincere advice. Last but not the least, very intense, tough workouts. Okay, maybe something like running a marathon over a long distance, which is not happening now, but I just wanted to bring this to your attention, or even a very high intensity class covering a long period of time, which really drains you and tires you out, it will lower your immunity. So people need to take this very seriously because I can see, on my social media, I can see so many people who are, blasting out with their workouts, and they're kind of going really intense with their workouts. But intense workouts will lower your immunity at this point of time. At this point of time, the best thing to do is keep your body moving, keep your joints supple, keep your muscles limber, and work out at a moderate to high intensity, never at a high intensity, a moderate to high, if at all you want to go there. My advice is keep it to moderate. It should never go over that. So this is what I would kind of summarize to keep your immunity level shored up.
Fantastic, Tulip. So I think this brings me to a question about trim fitness. So I think these are the, these are the kind of things that you actually bring out at your, fitness center. I think you run this fitness center yourself. So can we actually,
Yeah.
talk a little more about this? What is trim fitness all about, and how you sort of running these classes during the lockdown times?
Okay. Yeah. So Trim is my baby, and at Trim, we've over the past couple of years, we've had classes ranging from high intense classes to functional fitness classes. We've got aerobics, and we've got step aerobics. We've got kickboxing classes happening. Our latest newest arrival of the block was aerial fitness, and it is an amazing workout. It allows you to invert in a safe manner. So everybody loved that, and that is something that most many of my members keep pinging me all the time, saying, "Philip, we really miss it. We want to go back to aerial fitness." It's something that I am craving as well, kind of really missing in my life right now. Yeah, so different forms of fitness, but in my quest to keep it holistic, we've also had cooking competitions, where I've asked members to kind of plan meals that are balanced, which is what works with my philosophy. We've had so many different things. We've had a sound healing workshop. We've had belly dancing workshops. Just before the lockdown commenced, we had a doctor who came in and spoke to women about spine health. And then we had a renowned hairdresser who came in and gave us tips on makeup, hairstyling. A few of the members got their haircuts, done. So many different things always happening at Trim. It's a place that's buzzing and filled with life and activity. Sadly, right now we are under lockdown, so it's everything's shut. So it is right now. It's a little heartrending for me to talk about it, not having not even being able to go to Trim anymore. But I think it's what's required as of right now. So we just have to move on with what is best for all of us.
So are you running any virtual workshops or any sort of sessions online during these times?
Yes. So this is something that I told my girls, before lockdown happened, till the time, I think till first week of March, when classes were on. I told them, this is the situation. This is what countries abroad are doing. We discussed how to build up immunity. We already had these couple of protocols in place for the girls who come to Trim. And I told them, I said, if we go in lockdown, and I'm anticipating this, I am taking my classes online, and I want all of you to be there. So I got a couple of weird, strange looks, like, what is he up to, kind of thing. But the lockdown commenced on Friday in Mumbai, and on Monday my classes were online. We had a large number. Not everyone came on board immediately because people were very skeptical of the online platform, how it would happen, how is my instructor going to monitor me, how is she going to see whether my form is right. Uh, but slowly but surely, we've built up a huge member base. I have a 6-year-old currently who's working out with me. She comes to the morning class, which is a 7:30 class, and she is there every day from Monday to Friday. I have
Wow.
someone who's over 60 who's working out with me as well. We are lucky in the sense that we have people as far off from Bangalore, from Pune, a couple from Dubai who join us for our workouts as well. So the member base has increased, and I'm really, really, really happy that this has happened. Also because it keeps me going. I am still doing what I love, and that's fantastic. So that's really been a huge boost for me at this time.
That's fantastic. So, any sort of tips and tricks for maybe fitness enthusiasts who may want to maybe
Right,
open their own fitness centers? So, just a
right,
quick glimpse of how you started and where you are right now and how things are shaping up for you.
right, right. So I would say the first thing is be passionate. You have to love what you do. You have to really believe in it, and you have to be a people's person. You have to be open to, having conversations with people, talking to people, chatting with people, having people call you up or message you at any time of the day, or maybe sometimes even at night. You have to be able to be there for someone when you're a coach, because Coaching goes way beyond just prescribing exercises or way beyond that 1 hour of training that happens. There are so many queries, there are so many questions, there are so many issues that come up. Sometimes it moves from the fitness field to a different level, to a personal level where members want to talk to you about other issues, other personal concerns that might come up. So you have to be ready and equipped to deal with all of these. And remember that, like anything, it's a journey, you know. So don't expect that success will hit you really quickly. Sometimes that's a process, and you just have to take it as it comes. Yeah, but it's a field that is very gratifying. It uh, when you see someone who's lost a lot of weight, or someone who's met their fitness goals, or a marathoner who's achieved his target in a full marathon, it's very satisfying to kind of see, to see yourself as a facilitator who has helped them to get there. So it's a happening field. It's a great field to be in right now. Give yourself time. Make sure that you have the right certifications and the right skills in place, and boom, go ahead. There's nothing like it.
Fantastic thoughts, Tulip. So one last, sort of question. This is always
Mm-hmm.
my favorite, which actually comes at the end of my show, which is one
Yeah,
success mantra that you would want the audience to sort of take away and, be inspired. These are, glum
yeah,
moments, anxious moments. So anything that can,
right.
sort of pep them up.
Yeah, I would say as of right now, this situation that they're in, it's a very different, very unique, very special situation that we've been thrown into, our generation, the people of our time. Um, Take one day at a time. Just take one day at a time. Try not to think too far into the future. There are concerns of various types that are weighing us all down now, and I think we're all in that way. We're sailing in a same boat. But my sincere advice would be just take one day at a time. Try and relax. Take a deep breath in. Find some time to meditate. Find some time to just cool down. Do the things that you love. If nothing else, maybe just lie down on the bed and listen to some good music. Do things that you enjoy. Find the time to relax, because once this is over, once we're out of this, we're all going to get back to the rat race. So find the time to do the things that you really wanted to do. Maybe take a nap in the afternoon for that matter, or sleep in late for a couple of days. I've been doing that. I never had the luxury of a late Sunday morning ever. So now I've been really sleeping in late, and everyone's instructed not to wake me up, whatever happens. So you need to think of what is important for you and kind of take the time out to do that right now. Uh, I would also say that it's important to spend time with your family at this time. We've all been thrown in together as a unit, and I think nobody has ever spent this much time ever with their families. So important to just connect with the people you love. Also have spaces in your togetherness, because being together in each other's hair all the time is not going to help. So spaces in your togetherness, but find some time to maybe watch a movie or TV show, or play a game of cards or a board game together. Through the course of the day, eat your meals together. Just connect and be one as a family at this time.
Fantastic thoughts, Tulip. So thank you so much for being a part of the Firefly Adda and sharing your thoughts around, holistic fitness and nutrition. These were some great insights. I'm sure the audience here would actually, take a lot of takeaways from your insights, and, look at, their sort of objectives and goals in terms of being, fitter and eating the right sort of foods. Thank you so much. And it's a pleasure to be hosting you on the Firefly Adda.
Thank you. It was all my pleasure. It was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.